Hey, welcome back to the Healthy Living Scottsdale podcast. I'm your host, Coach Zach. I'm here with CJ Hunt, aka Silly C.
Yo.
And Sweetest Candy, Coach Brandy.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. So peaceful.
Gotta live up to my name.
So peaceful. All right, guys, we're back in the studio. Wanted to give a little client shout out here to start the episode. CJ came up with this one this week, so I'll let you give her a shout out. Go ahead.
All right. Betsy Robinson. She is a newer client and she's been back and she jumped right into the deep end, coming in 4 or 5 times a week. And she's still coming in. She's sore, but she's putting the work in, and she's, I wouldn't say necessarily happy to be here every time, but guess what? 3/4 of the battle is getting here because it's pretty darn hard to sandbag it when you're here. So she does a great job.
You said new client, but she's back. So she's a new old client, or I guess I should say new past client, not old client. Moral of the story is it sucks when you leave and then stop working out and come back. And so the moral of the story is don't ever leave. Mm-hmm. But kudos to her because, you know, when somebody stops coming and they fall off a little bit and then it's like, hey, I got to get back in the swing of things. It's always great. It's a good, I guess, testament to what we do to have, you know, the relationships and kind of be that reliable source for people. And she came back and she's hitting it hard. Like you said,
big time.
She's a golfer, so got some, you know, golf performance stuff in there. And, she's doing awesome. She's hitting, she's the intensity level. Betsy's a very intense person. So
doesn't take she takes rest when's needed, but she's working hard the entire time. And that's the idea.
Yeah. So let's talk about working hard today. Nice segue. Set me up there. Today's episode, we're talking about material cost versus labor cost. And I know, you know, right now construction in the world is like crazy, especially in Arizona, but everybody wants to remodel this and remodel that. And like the cost for everything is astronomical. And it's interesting how like that whole lumber, like a sheet of plywood has gone up, whatever is like a 200% or something. And people are like, this is insane. And they won't buy the plywood because it's so expensive. But then they'll hire somebody, a company to come in and like remodel something and, you know, put a new patio roof on, and they're using plywood for that.
Right.
And so wanted to talk about the psychology because in our industry, we know there's a lot of gimmicks and a lot of like fast track shortcut programs that exist out there. And people always want to they want results yesterday. So they always want to find that shortcut. But one of our challenges is that we know if you do things the right way and the healthy way, there is no shortcut.
Right.
And so it's interesting. Like you could charge somebody just about anything. If I had like a magic pill, I think I mentioned like the magic wand before on the episode. If somebody could come in and I was like, listen, you walk through the door, you're going to lose 40 pounds. I'm going to wave my magic wand. You're going to walk out looking exactly like what you want to look like. They would pay anything for that, right? They would sell their car or their house and be like, yeah, give me those results.
Right.
There's no amount that's too expensive when the work is already done for you. But the material cost, like if I go to the store and I just want to buy that plywood and I want to tear my patio down and remodel it myself and do the work myself, I'm like, man, this is really expensive. And right.
Right.
And so that mindset is a challenge when it comes to our industry because everything that we have to do is to provide value for the client, and the value is in the results that they get. But they have to put the work in themselves. Mm-hmm. Right. So like Betsy, right. She's got to show up. She's got to sweat. She's got to be sore. It's hard. A lot of times people have busy schedules. They got to get up early and, you know, make it a priority. And nobody ever is not busy. Like, we don't have people that work out here that aren't busy. So saying that you're busy and you can't come to the gym is not a good excuse. It's like you're prioritizing and making it, making time for it in your schedule. So that's a major challenge. It's materials versus labor. The cost of the materials is always super high if you have to put the work in yourself.
Right. Whereas,
if somebody's waving a magic wand for you, it's like, yeah, I'll pay that extra amount so I don't have to do the work myself.
Right.
So, what do you guys like? What are your comments, thoughts on this? CJ, I'll go to you. I want to get something profound from you.
Oh, we'll go for profound. So, I think that the difference between the labor costs and like the material cost is the satisfaction that you get from it. If you are just paying any amount to get it, you're not really satisfied. Like, oh, that looks great. That's cool. Whatever. I look good. But if you put the work in, you're going to continue to put the work in, and it's not going to be something that you're going to fall off from. You're going to feel much more accomplished when you get done with it. I kind of look at it with a former job that I had. I was a window washer. So everybody likes to have clean windows, but nobody wants to clean their windows. Right. And it's super simple to do. Like, we use water and dish soap. Everybody has water and dish soap, but they don't want to put the work in or learn how to do it to make it happen. And once you do put the work in, guess what? I haven't done that window washing job in probably 5-6 years, I think. And I can pick up a wand and I go right back to it, and I know how to do it. And it's very rewarding when you get through that point. Now, for other people, it might take you a little bit longer, but that's the same thing with working out. Once you get to the point where you are at a spot where you want to be, your workouts can be streamlined a little bit so you don't have to spend 2.5 hours in the gym or even a full hour. You can get it a little bit shorter with that 40 minutes, and you still have that kind of satisfaction with it. When you put the work in, you're not going to get there without it.
Yeah. So you're saying it doesn't take it's hard at first, but then once you master the skill,
it can take a little bit less time to get that.
Yeah.
Feeling.
Or even if it doesn't take less time, like, you're accomplishing more.
And it's not as hard.
It's not as hard. But I like the fact that at first you mentioned the I guess, reward of accomplishing it yourself. Right. And I know that I'm a big like home project guy. I'm always working on some sort of project, building something, home improvement, whatever. Right. And I like the aspect of like doing that myself and then looking at it and being like, man, I did that. Right. I accomplished that. Right. And so that's the thing is, yeah, if I had the magic wand, somebody gave me this money and I waved it, like, yes, you'd walk out with the result, but you're probably you're not going to value that, and you're not going to change your behaviors or anything. And you're just going to fall right back into the same track. And then you're going to have to come back at a later point. When you're accomplishing it yourself, you value that. You're going to take better care of yourself because of that. Right. What do you think, Brandy?
Yeah, I agree. Especially with the home project analogy, if you are doing something in your home yourself, you value the work that you did. You can feel proud of the fact that you completed that work and you have this great result. And, every time you look at that project in your home, you can be proud of what you did. And the same thing can be for the results that you're seeing from the hard work that you put in the gym, as opposed to, that quick fix, thing, whatever it is, gimmick, that you may see quick results, but if you're not putting the work in, it's really not sustainable. It may be a quick fix, but it's not going to be long-term sustainable result. And you're not going to feel that achievement or that sense of pride over the hard work that or the sense of pride that you would feel when you really do put in hard work in doing something like you are in the gym. And I think it's big results that will make you feel, proud of yourself for seeing those big results. But then I think it's little things too. Maybe you added 10 pounds onto the barbell from the previous week, and something like that is, a huge win. And I think we do a really good job of coaches here of celebrating those wins with people. And, that's huge. And everyone should be proud of the work that they're putting in and, even the small changes that they're seeing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Right. And focus on the process. I mean, we talk about that all the time. I think where the analogy breaks down a little bit is what if you don't have the expertise to do it on your own, right? Like there might be, oh yeah, I'd like to be able to fix my car, but I might not know how. Right. And so then I do need to pay for the labor. Right. And that's kind of where the analogy breaks down. And that's kind of where we come in as professionals, is to be able to give you the roadmap. However, we can't do the work for you. Right. Like, if I'm doing push-ups, you're not going to get the results from it. It's not going to make you look any better or get any stronger or fitter or anything like that. And so there's this, there's this evaluation that comes into people's minds when they're considering like, okay, I need help. I need to do something about it. Right. And that's the uniqueness of our industry, is like, there's definitely some specific challenges that exist within the training world that don't exist in other businesses. I mean, you don't walk into any other business 4 or 5 times a week and spend an hour there, right. Where there's a major human element, right? It's like, we're not pouring you a cup of coffee and we just make the coffee the exact same way every day. Like, you're dealing with a human element. Yeah. And so that's one of the challenges of our industry. But it's the evaluation of like, okay, I have to put this work in myself, but then I also don't necessarily have the tools and the resources that I need to be able to do it. Mm-hmm. And that's why we're coaches. Right. Right. And so for people assessing kind of like, okay, what do I do? Like, I know I need help, and it might, like, our services are not necessarily inexpensive. I think we're, priced correctly in the industry, but at the same time, like, there's going to be an investment that you have to make in order to have us as your coach and have these resources, right? The uniqueness is you got to put in the work yourself.
Right.
And that's where really what it comes down to is like, are you willing to make that sacrifice in order to get the results that you want? Everybody here is obviously a testimony of mm-hmm. like, yes, they are, right. which is really a powerful thing, which kind of goes back to what you're saying, CJ, of like, yeah, if I do it myself, mm-hmm. I'm going to take value. Like, there's going to be a lot of self pride that I feel from that.
It's very similar to like having your first car and then buying your first car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
You earned it.
You earned it. Exactly. And it's something that you not only do, but you're going to take care of it and you're going to make sure that it's good. And even kind of the same thing where you're going to us coaches here, you got to go to a mechanic for your car to make sure that it is still good, because most people don't have that expertise either. So,
mm-hmm. yeah. Take care of yourself, right? Like take care of yourself and your body and your fitness and your mind.
Yeah. Body mechanics.
I like it. Brandy, any like final thoughts for anybody or words of wisdom?
Just, we'll help guide you through your fitness program, through your workout. We'll also help guide you through nutrition if that's something that you need assistance with in coaching around nutrition. So it's not only the work that you're doing in the gym, but the work that you're doing out of the gym as well.
Which is way harder.
The two coupled together is really where you're going to see the results.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up the nutrition piece, because that's kind of the same thing. Eating out, the food's prepared for you. Somebody's delivering it to you, and you don't have to do any of the work yourself. Right. Right. So it's like, how many people will spend $100 at a restaurant for a meal, but think that buying $100 worth of groceries is like of healthy groceries is insanely expensive.
Exactly.
It's that same mindset that we're talking about. It's because you have to prepare the vegetables and cook the meat, and well, in Brandy's case, you don't cook the meat, but you cook the vegetables and the hummus and that type of thing.
That's right. But you get you can get the same kind of satisfaction around, putting the work in your workout and seeing results as, going to the grocery store, buying your groceries, coming home, cooking a meal, and then enjoying that with your family.
Yeah. So, and I would urge people, you know, we're talking about this material cost versus labor cost. Like, I would say at the end of the day, we always talk about your why, right? And you're looking at the end product, the end result. And that's the thing to focus on, and be prepared to put in the work to accomplish that and make the necessary sacrifices, because in the end, it's going to be incredibly rewarding and you're going to value it so much. All right. Exactly. That's all we got for you guys this week. And we'll be back next week with more great stuff.
Everybody needs help sometimes, so use the help you got.
Thank you so much for listening to the Healthy Living Scottsdale podcast. Do you have a question that you'd like for us to answer live on the podcast? If so, all you need to do is head over to the Apple Podcast app on your iPhone and do 3 simple things. First, leave us a rating and review telling me what you think of the podcast. In that review, ask anything you want related to health, fitness, or nutrition. And if you want a shout out, leave us your Instagram handle or name. That's all you have to do. Then listen to hear your questions answered live on the next Q&A episode.